Alright guys, we'll come to you with another video. I hope all is well. Just want to talk a little bit some boxing stuff, some things that have recently occurred. Um, you know, when I say Canelo fans are a special kind of like fan, I mean it in every sense of the word. Like, in all honesty, if Canelo got caught in drag and was sniffing, putting stuff in his nostrils, they would still support him. You know, no matter what, they wouldn't look at him sideways or anything like that. They would try to make an excuse and what have you. I say that to say that because, you know, there were some things that came out. I think Boxing Voice had an interview with Canelo, and that's another thing too. That's another kind of outlet that's like very pro Canelo and what have you. But an interview came out, and Canelo was talking about how I guess they were asking him about the Andre Ward training, like, hey, what do you think about that? And what have you, right? And so, in essence, Canelo alluded to saying, oh, well, they can be in the ring at the same time and I would have no problem. So, what Canelo's fans did is they ran with that narrative and they said, it's a call out. You know, he wants to fight him. He wants to fight Andre Ward. You know what I mean? Of course, they're like, oh yeah, Canelo would beat Andre Ward. Oh yeah, Canelo would knock out Andre Ward. And things like that. Oh yeah. And so once that narrative was ran with, Fight Hype, they recently released an interview with Andre Ward, and he alluded to the same things, that like he really didn't have no history with Canelo. He really didn't have no like background with him or anything like that. And he even said that the fans were hyping it up more than it really should be hyped up. And so he even said, that's the fans, right? So I say this to say this, that certain people will blow things out of proportion and make it look like it's something that it's not. At this point, I don't know if Andre Ward, even if this idea was being entertained, I'm pretty sure that even in his inactivity, Andre Ward, since he's retired, I'm pretty sure he'll add some kind of special stipulations and stuff like that if they were to fight. There would be hella stipulations, right? So another thing for me is that the fans are trying to call for the fight and things like that, but you didn't have this energy when it came to other fighters, you know? And the downside to what Andre Ward said, they're going to use it against him. They're going to say, oh, he's scared, he'll lose his O, this, that, and the other. That's what the fans are going to say. That's what the Canelo fans will say. But the reality is this. if you have a certain attribute and certain skill sets, you have the ability to beat him. Okay. Andre Ward is one of the most versatile fighters that we've had. He just found a way to get it done, right? A lot of that involved footwork. A lot of that involved good head movement. A lot of it involves setting traps, right? And a lot of it involved just having better athleticism as well, right? So, if we have these certain traits, right? Then 9 times out of 10, you'll beat Canelo on the fair and square down. You know, the thing is that I think what happens is opponents, right? I think all these boxing pundits and stuff like that, they make Canelo out to be a larger than life figure, right? And so it kind of spikes out an opponent who may not be strong, right? Mentally. And so they go in there kind of like, I guess you can say, not putting forth a full effort in regards to the fight. Not like giving a full go, right? When you look at the Billy Joe Saunders fight, he could have did more things, you know? But, you know, what you see, and then once you get in there, it's very different. I understand that. I definitely understand that. It's weird, but it is, right? So, the way I look at it is that Andre Ward, he did what he needed to do in the boxing world. You know, he set it ablaze for the time he was fighting. And the way I look at it is that, you know, he doesn't need to come out of retirement to fight Canelo. Okay. And the Canelo fans really need to stop trying to like egg this fight on. Like, I mean, you're just you're trying to just, I don't know. It's like dumb. Like, he's been retired for some time now. Why not egg on some other fights, you know? Because even that's the thing. It's not that I'm saying this. This was the word of Andre Ward saying this, you know? That the fans make it out to something that is not. And you Canelo fans need to stop making it out to things that it's not, for real, because it's getting annoying. Every time I see a post that says he'll beat Andre Ward, is dumb. Listen, if you're a boxer and you have respectable pop and you have boxing skills, then Canelo is very limited to that. As a matter of fact, I dare to say this. If Canelo went to Cuba and tried to box with someone of his weight class, there's amateurs already in Cuba who would make that fool look would make him look very, very silly. So, you have a certain skill set, then you can be able to beat him. But again, you have to have everything covered. Boxing is not enough. You gotta have some respectable pop on your punches. Make sure you're accurate, and make sure you have a good body attack too, you know. and make sure you're able to measure distance very well. But these are, again, it's all easier said than done. But the way I look at it is, Andre Ward, sometimes he has some good analytical points, I will say. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes I don't agree with certain things he says or how he moves in regards to certain things, but respect to him for his being an analyst, you know, respect to him. But I don't know, I'm going to end on this note. I don't know why people are getting like so surprised that, you know, Caleb Plant is getting helped by Andre Ward when this is something normal that happens in boxing. Certain fighters go seek out help, you know, from different fighters. This is normal. Sometimes you may have like a former opponent in which you may need to get help from, you know? So it shouldn't be a surprise, or it shouldn't be something like people are mad at. Like, why are you mad at him getting help, you know? From someone who was at the pinnacle of the sport, right? So I don't get it, man. I really don't get it. They blow everything out of proportion. You know? And I guarantee you now, because Andre Ward came out and said these things on the Fight Hype interview, I guarantee you that Canelo fans are going to say that he's ducking. But last time I checked, you can't duck when you're in retirement. But anyhow, that's all I got for now. Full signing out. I'm Ja Rama.